Lena had only been in Los Angeles for a short time when her world began to shift. She'd come to the city hoping for a fresh start, believing that maybe the bright skies and constant noise would drown out the quiet loneliness she'd carried inside for too long. Her days were simple, working at an art gallery, taking quiet walks in the evenings, drinking coffee by herself. She wasn't looking for connection, especially not love. Then, one Thursday night changed everything. She'd only planned to stop by a rooftop gathering briefly, but then she heard him. Eli. His laugh was loud, sincere, a little wild. He was telling a story, his energy magnetic, a guitar case by his chair. When their eyes met, he nodded like they already knew each other. It unsettled her in a good way. Later, when he approached her and asked her name, she smiled more in those few minutes than she had in weeks. Still, she walked away not expecting to see him again, but fate had other plans. A few days later, Lena's phone died while waiting in line at a crowded cafe. As she struggled to find a charger, a man beside her quietly offered his. His name was Jay. Calm, thoughtful, grounded. They chatted while their phones recharged about books, routines, the best croissants in the city. It was easy, comfortable. When she left, she felt lighter somehow. Lena told herself these were just coincidences, typical of life in a big city. But LA kept putting them in her path. Eli at a bookstore, Jay in the park with his dog. Each time they met, their conversations grew deeper. Eli brought excitement, a spark. With him, she felt like she was flying. Jay brought stillness and anchor. With him, she felt seen. Neither competed for her attention. Instead, they simply showed up. Then came the night their paths converged. They were all part of the same art event. Eli was performing, Jay managing tech, Lena curating. Standing together afterward, it didn't feel strange. It felt inevitable. As time passed, their connections deepened. What started as chance meetings turned into late-night calls and lingering dinners. Eli invited her to open mic nights, his songs always seeming to carry hidden messages meant just for her. Jay took her to an interactive art exhibit, their conversations drifting into topics she rarely explored with anyone. Each offered her something different but equally meaningful. To Lena's surprise, there was no rivalry between the two men. They respected each other, quietly. It confused her at first. She kept waiting for conflict, for someone to force a decision, but it never came. Instead, she found herself opening up. Slowly, a look, a text, a touch. She stopped questioning what it was and allowed herself to feel. Neither Eli nor Jay asked her to define what was happening. They didn't label it, they just kept showing up with patience, warmth, and care. For the first time, Lena let go of the need to control everything. And for the first time in a long time, she felt something unfamiliar but beautiful. Hope. Fear doesn't disappear easily. One morning, she woke up heavy with doubt. Was this real? Was it selfish to care for two people at once? She began to pull away. Fewer messages, vague excuses. Eli noticed and quietly gave her space. Jay didn't press, just offered quiet concern. Then came the letters. One from Eli, scrawled and emotional, saying he didn't need convention to know what he felt. "I don't want half of you," he wrote. "I want all of you, even if I have to share the space." Jay's letter was neater, simpler. He told her love shouldn't cage anyone. He didn't want her to choose, he just wanted her happy. Sitting with those two letters in her lap, Lena cried. All her life she believed love had to look a certain way. But this was real. It wasn't chaos. It was clarity. She reached out to them. One message to each. "Can we talk?" When they met, she didn't offer a dramatic speech, just the truth. That she was scared. That she didn't have all the answers. That she cared deeply for both of them. And they listened, without judgment. They didn't ask for ultimatums. They simply accepted her. From that moment, things didn't become perfect, but they became real. Her days began to change. Quiet mornings at DJ's talking about life and dreams. Spontaneous afternoons with Eli, full of laughter and light. With them, she didn't feel torn, she felt whole. Being with both of them didn't divide her heart, it made it fuller. Love, she realized, isn't limited. It isn't something that has to be measured or rationed. It's expansive. And each man brought something to her life the other couldn't replace. Of course, not everyone understood. People whispered. But Lena no longer felt the need to justify her happiness. She had found something rare, something honest. And slowly, the three of them found their rhythm. No big declarations. Just quiet mornings, inside jokes, shared space. They weren't following anyone else's rules. they were building something of their own. And in that space full of trust, laughter, and acceptance, Lena finally understood. Love doesn't have to look like anyone else's story. It just has to feel like yours.